Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another Nier Reincarnation video, and today's the day I'm going to do my full review for the game as well as a should you play video, all in one nice little package. I'm going to talk about all the parts of the game that I've experienced up through the first month and a half of the game's release, and tell you if I think it's a game that I enjoyed, and maybe if it's a game you should try out if you haven't tried it yet. So, yeah, let's get to it right now. Alright, let's start this video, and I'm going to try to stay to like points here. I'm going to try and not go off on tangents and just stick to my points. And point one that I want to make is I do think this game is worth playing. Like, if you're watching this video because you're on the fence about maybe giving Nier Reincarnation a try or maybe not, give it a try. It's free to download and play this game. And in fact, I know some of y'all right now are like, hold up, Orange Egg. Hold up, man. This is a gacha game. They're all free until you want to like buy stuff. And yeah, that's true. This game, one thing that's pretty cool about it is your first like 20 hours, let's say, you're going to have a lot of content to clear. You're going to get a lot of the premium currency. You're going to be able to summon a lot. And in fact, the first 20 to 40 hours of the game is the most fun, in my opinion. And when you're talking about a single player game, because that's really what Nier Reincarnation is, getting 20 to 40 hours out of a single player RPG is like, that's not bad. There's a lot of RPGs that are 40 hours or less. And some of them aren't my favorite, but that's for free? That's a worthy investment of time, in my opinion. And so if you're on the fence, I do think you should play. Now, I'm going to go into more detail here, and I'm going to start with like what I thought was very good about the game. Like, I'm going to start with the positives, then go to the negatives, because that's how I like to do it. Now, most positive thing in my mind was the art style, the overall aesthetic of the game. The music, on point. The graphics, just great. Like, yes, there needed to probably be some more character models for the enemies, but they really fit the Nier aesthetic, and it never bothered me. Like, I heard other people on Reddit and some, like, you know, Discord posts about, like, oh man, I wish there was more enemy models. Yeah, never bothered me at all. I thought they really nailed just the overall look of the game. I thought PvE in general was a good experience. It's really fast, and there's not a lot of like need to manual most of it. There's very little manual you can even do, in fact. But it is impactful when you do the manual if you need to just like crest a power curve a little bit. For the most part, it's an auto PvP game where you're going to sit back and you're going to watch your team do work. But it looks really nice and it sounds really nice. So when you're sitting back watching the team you put together do work, it's enjoyable, and I really enjoy that about games. I love auto fighters where I build a team and watch the AI do what it does. So there's that. I thought the PvE was very enjoyable in this game. The story, it's not so much one continuous story, but a bunch of small individual stories that are all canon to the Nier world. And they're all just self-contained. They're in different, like, they're all in very different parts of time, right? You have, like, soldiers from the modern day and clones from the from, like, way in the future. I think they were clones. You'll see if you play. I thought the stories were generally pretty good. If you didn't like one, skip it. Just skip that chapter. Play through it, click skip the story, go to the next chapter. You might like that. That was a fun way of doing the story. And it's something that I think other gacha games could learn a little bit from, because some of them have some real freaking filler in there. And there wasn't a ton of filler in this, except in a way it's all filler, but it's on filler on purpose. I don't know. If you've played other Nier games, I think this adds to the lore, and I liked the storytelling and the way it was done. Okay. Let's get to the parts that I didn't like about the game so much. And I want to start with like value. I'm somebody who likes to spend money in gacha games, right? Like, I cover them on this YouTube channel for a living. So I like to invest in them so I can get the characters, you know, build them up and say, hey, this character is bad or good because of XYZ. The value of spending money in this game is really bad. I never felt good when I spent money. I ended up spending a couple times. I always was talking about it when I was playing the game, how, you know, in Discord I was like, ooh, I hate these deals. I did eventually spend some money, and honestly, both times I did, I spent, you know, a decent amount, and I was like, I feel like I got ripped off. That's part of the gacha gaming world. I'm not one who complains about like bad polls or something like that. You know, you win some, you lose some. I just never thought the premium shop was any good. I never liked the premium shop or the premium currency banners. And in fact, most of the time when I played, there were not premium currency banners. And I thought that was a big problem. And it was pushing, I thought, spenders away from the game, which worried me a little bit about their model for making money when it's a free game that I felt was pushing spenders to the side. So that was a negative for me. Okay, PvP. I looked forward to PvP coming out in this game for a month plus, to whenever it finally came out. And when it did, I was just very underwhelmed. Granted, at the time when I'm stopping playing this game, the only PvP that's out is Arena, and it was like, you had only so many fights you could do a day, which is very normal for gacha games. But I would do the fights, they were all over like that. There was like barely any strategy involved. And it wasn't fun. Like, I think if I had to just, I'm not going to try and be too analytical here, because I never really went that deep into it because it wasn't fun. It was just like a worse version of the PvE, in my opinion. And I was like, wait a second, what is the point? Like, Nier really felt like a single player game to me. The whole time I was playing, I never felt like I was playing with other people, because you're really not. And I thought PvP, when it came in, would maybe add that like element of other people are playing this with me. It didn't. I just didn't like the PvP. Okay, community. That brings me to my next point, right? The community of the game. This is a really weird one to talk about. Notice it's in the bad section, but it's not all bad. Like, I had a great community for this game on my Discord. Y'all are awesome if you're watching this video. I liked reading all the things you said. You had some great guides that you guys were putting out. I often reference those guides in my videos. You guys were awesome. The Discord servers that I was invited to by like the official Discord, stuff like that, I thought those Discords were great. However, none of that is in-game. Like, there's not guilds. There's not, again, that sense of like, I always felt like I was playing the game by myself. And then I went to like a third-party place and talked about the game. It never connected to me. Like, I really enjoy having some kind of guild, or maybe you're doing stuff together, or you have like a guild battle system, something like that. I feel like the game needed that. And so while the community outside of the application was a generally nice place to hang out, I have a hard time giving the community like a score, because it felt more like I was playing a single player game. If I was forced to, and comparing it to other gacha games, well, currently I play a lot of War of the Visions. I love the community in that game. I think it's really awesome. There's a guild system. It's like one of my favorite parts of the game. I also played My Hero Academia, The Strongest Hero, for a while. I thought the community in that game was pretty terrible. I would put this somewhere in the middle, but mostly off to the side. What quality analysis that just was. Anyway, I never felt like a super sense of the community, and that's honestly something in multiplayer games that will keep you coming back. I know in War of the Visions, and any of these games that aim to last for years and years and years, like FFBE, something like that, Grand Blue Fantasy, etc. One of the reasons, even when you're feeling a little bit burnt out, that you come back to the game and keep playing is you're like, shoot, I'm in a guild, and like, these are my friends, and I don't want to let them down, so I'm going to jump back into the game and keep playing with them. Nier, it was 6-7 weeks into the game, and I was like, you know, I feel like I'm done. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm done. And that sounds negative, right? It sounds right there like I'm saying, hey, don't play the game. But like I said, I got over a month of enjoyment out of a single player game. That's pretty great. Now, the last thing I want to talk about for the negatives is the way that you grind in this game. It is a very, very grind-intensive game, which in and of itself is not a bad thing, if the systems are in place to make the grinding manageable. There's a ton of grinding required in this game to like push the content. To push the in-game content anyway. You can clear the story. If you just want to play for the story, you can clear that pretty easily without much grinding at all. But if you want to do like the harder content in the game, you're going to have to grind a lot. And the auto repeat feature might have actually been my least favorite thing in the game. It was a 10 repeat feature, so you could repeat the same mission or whatever you were doing 10 times, then you had to click a button to do it again, and like the only way to do it in double speed was to put like economy mode on, which turns it to like 10 frames a second, darkens your screen, it looks like trash, which eliminates one of my favorite parts of the game, which is the way it looked. Then you had to click a button to do it 10 more times. Like, I'm serious, there's sometimes you needed to farm the same stage 200 times. I don't want to have to click redo it 20 times. So it just pushed people to, you know, using macros, using third-party programs, and I didn't like that. Like, I would rather just say, hey, let me farm this stage until I get 5 of this item. Go. And just let the game go, do its thing until I have 5, then I can walk away, change a baby's diaper, play with the baby for a while, come back, like, oh, look, I got my 5 drops, that's awesome. Instead, I would click go, I'd walk away for a while, I'd come back and be like, oh, we did it 10 times, I got nothing, and then it sat here doing nothing for 25 minutes. So I hated that. That was my least favorite feature of the game, honestly, period. Because it's really great in these mobile games to be able to auto-farm. I'm going off a little bit of a tangent on that. But anyway, okay, that's really all I wanted to talk about there. I think some people might want me to talk about the release schedule for this game. They have been pushing content on the global side out, like every week there's new banners, there's new events. They're going real fast. Now, I believe they're trying to catch it up to JP. I don't know why they're doing that. It makes me a little bit worried that they feel like they have an audience right now and they're pushing all the content into the audience while they have them, and they're worried about losing them maybe. That's the feeling I get. That could be totally wrong, but like I said, it's a fun game. And like, I don't want those negatives to detract from the fact that I had over a month of enjoyment out of this game, and I think you could have that enjoyment too. And honestly, guys, if you play a game for a month, throw a couple bucks at it. Hook yourself up with one of those premium banners one time if you're playing the game. Throw the developers $1 or $2. And there you go. That's my thoughts. Overall, I'm going to give Nier Reincarnation like a solid 7 out of 10. Very, very worth playing as a single-player game. Wish it had better PvP and more of like an in-game community. And that's my review. Thank you guys for watching. This, now that I'm kind of done with Nier Reincarnation, I will be looking for a second gacha game to go along with War of the Visions to cover on this channel. I don't like to just play a game for like a few weeks and then drop it and move on to a next one. I like to really go in. I felt like I got my value out of Nier. I feel like I'm kind of done with it. I might pick it back up later, but there we go. And that's it. Alright, if this was useful to you, please hit the like and subscribe button to the channel if you want more content, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.